Hey, what's up? It's your girl Amina. I should have really worked with this before I logged on, but I was rushing. Hold on one second. Anyway, oh, thank y'all. Thank y'all so much. I have reached 2,000 with your views. So I appreciate everybody new, all of my day ones. Look, I'm acting like I'm doing an acceptance speech, but that just goes to show you that it really does mean a lot to me. Um, and being that y'all really did like the Katt Williams thing, I'm gonna talk about that also a little bit. But look, I couldn't stay on it. I tried, but that video really kind of it annoys me because of the circle talk. Like I don't. If I was given an interview and I guess it's a good topic, so it's juicy. Maybe she didn't want to step on his toes, but I wouldn't let him rock with talking around everything like that. Hey, John Blue, how you doing? I would have been like, listen, Ninja, you came here to talk, then I'm gonna need you to stay right here. And I would just ask him the specific questions. And if not, I'm like, sorry, bro, you gotta go. Because now, but let me ask you a question. For the people, for y'all that don't know, we're talking about the Katt Williams brothers interview. His name was Steven, that he did with Tasha K. Did y'all find it odd for y'all people that says he was so shy that he could barely talk? Did y'all find it odd that he had a big, huge picture of a cat on his shirt, like a big cat, and he's talking about Katt Williams? But he's so traumatized, right? Let me. I know somebody that traumatized me, not in that way. It's a name that I don't even speak of. I can't speak of. And if I do, I'd refer to him like as a distant person, let alone wearing something to the world, coming on a stage with a million people and wearing a shirt that symbolizes his name on it. But then that's what I'm saying. He's so bold with saying certain things. So he's on an interview talking that his brother, Katt Williams, abused him loud. My abuser, my abuser, my abuser. But then you ask him any information on it, he can't answer. So I'm just gonna start with there real quick, get through it, and then we're done with it. I'm not even gonna finish this whole thing because I didn't finish the whole thing. I was gonna fine tooth comb the interview and like really go in and just break down everything on it. But then I said, this ninja is getting on my nerves, and I don't know how long I can take it. Hey, what's up, sweet daddy? Got you. And hey, what's up to Marcus? How y'all doing? I hit 2,000 subscribers. Thank you. My day one's in the room. Okay. So let me really, really quick go in on a situation. So he shows up wearing the huge cat. To me, that's somebody antagonizing somebody. Like, I can't get you, I can't reach you. Look, hi, now you see me. Now you see me. That's what that says to me. I mean, let me know if I'm wrong. So then didn't speak out. All right, so he's saying the reason what really traumatized him is when Katt Williams, another comedian died at Katt Williams' house, and I guess the security supposedly took him out. Now, with that, he was saying that tormented him because other people were calling him, and he was like, well, I feel like I can't defend my family because I don't have the money. Right then and there, to me, that was a money plea. Oh gosh, I'm gonna get to you 1 second. Betty B says Tasha is strategic. So although the brother isn't saying much, Tasha is testing Katt's temperature to see his reaction, quietly calling out Katt. But the brother is the one that was being so cryptic. Tasha was like literally trying to pull it out of him. DeMarcus, thank you. I'm gonna give you your I'm gonna do the theme music in a second, but let me get through this mess because then I'm gonna have to search for it. But yo, thank you so much for the super chat, and thank you for my acknowledging my 2,000. And DeMarcus, you were the first person to say congratulations to me because you hit it. You was watching it. You was like, oh, you're about to hit the 2K. So thank you. All right. Let me see. So, all right. So she asks him. So he was like, "Oh, I'm traumatized because the guy is passed out. He's dead. He's not alive, and I don't know what to." And people are asking me questions. So it took me out of my bubble to ask questions because people are asking me questions. And I don't have money like you do, so I can't protect my family. And he's looking at the camera, and I'm like, "Yo, is he asking for money because he's saying he don't have?" And he was like, "He rich, so he could be quiet." So he's upset that Katt Williams is quiet about it. But you don't even know. That seems very like a legal issue. Maybe Katt Williams' lawyer said, "Shut the fuck up." You really don't know. That's why I don't tend to judge people's situations when it comes to certain things, because you don't know what's going on in the inside. Betty B says she doesn't just interview anyone. I don't know. Those strippers in the club she does sometimes. Sometimes she does. So, like, no, they have to be like attached to chaos. I'm gonna be honest. Tasha K, when she put out a story or whatever, there's a lot of movement behind it, because that's how I ended up with 2K right now. Like, I mean, overnight I ended up with like 170 new subscribers. So whatever she do, she definitely know what she's doing. So, all right, real quick, let me see. All right, so then he was like, the cops covered it up. He was like, he got people to pay off, so the cops just covered it up. So Tasha K is like, yo, the cops covered it up. And I watched this because I'm sitting here with a pen and a pad. And he's like, if you would have read Reggie's book, not read it really, but he was just saying all the things that would have led up to it, you would have known that he was next to be taken out. That's what the brother's saying. But the brother also acknowledges that he did not even know the dude that got taken out, but yet he's so bothered behind it. So when Tasha K said, so he threw in that, he paid the cops off, and the cops saying that he didn't do anything. This coming from a dude that doesn't know, and he said it's all speculation. So when Tasha K pulled it back, I'm gonna tell you exactly what he said. He was like, "Can I curse?" and made it seem like he was gonna go in, and then he told her that he was cold in the studio, and guess what? They never came back to it. So anytime she like really dug in to get him into a corner to make him say something definitive, like yes or no, is that what happened? He always backed out. And the fact that he talked in third party gives him leeway to say, you know what, I wasn't talking to Katt. And you know what also he does? He does the same thing Jaguar Wright does. He goes, I didn't say that, but what I will say, to me, that's starting to read lies right after when you say you're not going to say that, but what I will say, I think that's manipulation, and it gives you time to think. My mic is acting up. I don't know what I'm going to do. So then he was like, yo, everything is speculation, right? And he was like, but we're going to take out speculation real quick. And then he goes, why didn't he mention anything on the Sherry Shepherd show? And I'm sitting there like, what are you talking about? Because he goes back to that's back to speculation, because now you're asking, why didn't Sherry Shepherd, why didn't he talk about it during Sherry Shepherd's show? That's open to any interpretation. Oh shoot. All right, let me fix this mic because it's killing me. All right. Cool. So then they go about the homeless situation. Now this is crazy about the homeless situation, because they try to almost uncover the fact that he wasn't really homeless. Because I watched Tasha K, she was like, oh, he's lying about being homeless, because how was he in homeless and then he's in Haiti when he was 18 years old? And in my head, I said, you could definitely be homeless at 13 and then be back with your parents, because I know I was homeless at about 15. my story. I was definitely homeless at 15, but I was back in around 17. However, later on, they do come back because the brother does say that he was kicked out, or him and his father did have a fight at 13 where Katt did leave the house, and I was sitting there traumatized because my brother left me. So that's what I'm saying. That's too contradictory. They try to point out a lie, but then you come back to it a while later and you find out, nah, so he was homeless. But the brother tried to make it seem like he wasn't in the beginning. It was just like he was trying to like pull his story apart. Why would if that was the case, if he was really homeless, but yet that's why I'm saying you have to watch people. Later on, they do talk about him being homeless. And I remember it was asking about the person that passed away. He was like, people want to know his opinion. So he's pissed off that people are coming to him, asking him his opinion. And he was like, well, I'm not the rich ninja. They do talk about the family, the father being in the military. Not only was he in the military, the father ended up in military jail. I love my military guys. And, after watching Dead Presidents, I have so much respect for them. I don't like to see my veterans on the street. So I will definitely always lend a helping hand. However, let's not say that some men don't become abusive in a household, because they tried to make it seem like there was a reason to Katt Williams's father beating Katt Williams. Oh, that's not the reason he got kicked out. Or why would he leave? Had to be something so severe. And I'm gonna tell you the contradiction that they did, because it was a contradiction. I sat right there and I listened to it. That's what I do. I listen and I watch. Mind you, I didn't do the whole interview this time. Like I didn't, because I was gonna go through with a fine-tooth comb. So wherever I stop at is where I stopped at. I just was like, oh, let me come on live and F this man, because he's not worth my time. And I don't want to put myself through it. So this is what happened. So he's raised by military, a militant father. So they were implying that the reason Katt Williams left the house or got into a big fight with his father is because he's saying that something may have happened where Katt Williams abused him and his father put his hands on him. Now, Katt Williams himself said that him and his father had a big altercation and he was tired of his father putting his hands on him, so he left, right? Two different stories. Father's militant. Could it have been possible that his father was beating his ass? And I'm going to give just regularly, just because. Well, Tasha K and him make it clear later on. I think, I don't know if I timestamped it. Around 37.48. Look, that's how specific I be sometimes. Into the video. Right before that, I'm sorry, a little bit before that. The brother was like, well, what could have been so horrendous that my father beat the shit out of Katt Williams? It had to be something, right? They get off that topic, but they come back on. And Tasha K says, well, like, let's stop acting like our parents didn't beat our ass. Like, there are some parents that beat your ass because you messed up, but there are some parents that are damn right abusive. Yes or no? That could happen, right? Okay. So Tasha said, I got the shit beat out of me. And she said, I needed my ass whoopings. And I watched the brother say, yeah, I mean, exactly. There's nothing wrong with that. So you do admit now that the father was beating y'all asses. I'm just saying, follow me. That does coincide with what Katt Williams said. But you're adding in there may have been a reason. But again, you didn't want to get into detail. Mind you, this guy don't want to get into detail, but he's sitting there with a big cat on his sweater talking about he a rich nigga. Huge. I don't got money like that. That's all you cried about it maybe like 5 times in that video. And then you're talking in code. But then he's saying, well, what would you do? Like, why? Like, so he's, yes, I know. DeMarcus says Katt Williams is a Virgo also. And he says that because, yes, Steph, absolutely. I am a Virgo. And I will say one thing about being a Virgo. If you do something to piss us off, or you do something extremely treacherous, we won't speak to you ever again. Mother or father, it does not matter. DeMarcus says Stephen Williams out here begging like Dr. Umar. He's definitely throwing innuendos. He said people love talking. DeMarcus also said people like talking in riddles to confuse people. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, so if you was ready to talk about it, then I would have felt like he would have just really talked about it. But he was being smug. I'm sorry, and I know I keep bringing up the damn shirt on the sweater, but that was like an antagonizing vibe. So then, and mind you, he was triggered by this guy that's no longer alive, but he said he doesn't know him, and he really don't know what happened because he wasn't close to Katt at that time. So he's just going by speculation, and by speculation, the internet was talking. There was a whole bunch of stories coming on. So at one point, he starts talking about the kid Malik. Now, the kid Malik Katt used to talk about him in one of his shows. And he was saying that he had a foster kid and all of this stuff. Like all the comedians talk about their family and their house dynamic. Bernie Mac, love him to death. He used to talk about his kids that he had to adopt from his sister and stuff like that. And that whole dynamic. So he's figuring out why he talked about them. And then all of a sudden, he just completely stopped talking about the kids. Malik. Because they did acknowledge that Malik had special needs. And he was like, well, since he got so much money, like how come he couldn't take care of them? Like there are a lot of kids that have special needs that they do end up in, like I remember Dorothy Dandridge. If y'all don't know her, she was a famous actress, and her child was born with special needs. And eventually she realized, I remember she cried. I watched the documentary. She cried a lot, but she realized she couldn't take care of her kids her daughter anymore. And they had to put her into the I think a psychiatric center for kids because she had to be watched all the time. So they're acknowledging that Malik was in a psychiatric center, and that's where he unalived. And that to me says that something so traumatic is going on with you where you got to be watched 24/7 because you may harm yourself or others. But that doesn't say anything criminal. You understand what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes you just got to break stuff down. But he's trying to make everything that happened publicly in life make it sound like it's got to be crazy. And he was like, he was drawing Illuminati stuff, symbols and stuff going on. Now, I remember back then, Katt Williams was talking about see, I done said it already, the Illuminati or whatever their mess is. And I remember sitting there thinking that my homeboy was watching too. Because Listen, y'all don't want to go down that rabbit hole. Back in the day, there used to be a lot of stuff on YouTube. Now there's nothing. Like, you could really find the good stuff on YouTube. Like, I would have to actually go to find a bootlegger to get me one of those old videos. Like, you would be there for days going down the rabbit hole of things going on. And I remember Katt Williams was doing a comedy show or whatever, and somebody just walked up and punched him in the face, and there was like attempts on his life because he said it on one of his skits that he walked into the wrong damn room and saw the wrong stuff, and he was like, and I didn't know you were supposed to keep your mouth closed. Now, there are a lot of other people that talk about being in those parties and in the mansions and saying, yo, you're supposed to keep your mouth closed. Because he came back out and was talking about it, and he put it in his comedy routine. And after that, he was getting punched and stuff left and right. So, I mean, he's the only person I've heard besides Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle didn't talk about it, but he talked about it a little bit, that actually addressed that situation. And Dave Chappelle was on the run. But I remember everybody kept saying, what kind of weird stuff is going on with him? Queen Liz, hey, what's up, Queen Liz? He said he didn't definitively say what and who, so many insinuations and vague scenarios, so he could spread a narrative, but not to be sued. And that's exactly what I said. That's what I said. He was doing a lot of vague stuff, and it's like, no, when somebody talks, right, I pay attention to every detail. Right. And then I watch them usually backtrack. And that's what I'm saying. The little stuff that I saw is them backtracking. But he was so vague. It's hard to pinhole. But their vagueness was kind of easy to key on stuff that she would come back to later. And he would take a whole nother story stance. For example, what I said in the beginning about the runaway. He was trying to, at first, insinuate that he's just a freaking liar and nothing that bad happened when he ran away. But then at the end, he's saying, oh, but he ran away because it was three different things. Then he ran away because his father took stuff out on him because of him. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. So you're saying that your father beat the hell out of Katt Williams because you were 5 and you feel like he mishandled you. Again, it was vague. Mishandle could be anything, right? But later on, he says, when I was younger, I couldn't articulate myself. Do you understand? Even when he's freaking riddling, he's sitting there contradicting himself. I'll be on it. I'll be paying attention. So y'all do know those are 3 different scenarios, right? Just so you know. But you're exactly right, Queen Liz. She said, you covering this made me subscribe. Thank you for pointing this out and bringing the attention to it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. It just didn't sit right with me. So I had to talk about it. And then, I'm just gonna, then I'm done with it because this is really lowering my vibration. I don't like the guy for some reason. I don't know. The innuendos, the subliminals, the teasing, the stories not lining up. It got to a point. So he's talking about Malik, right? Look, I came off topic. So he's coming off about Malik and he's saying that he thinks that Katt might have had something to do with it. But again, the kid was on a psychiatric hold. And that's usually what's going on with a psychiatric hold. He was adopted. And he's saying that he should have talked about him. Maybe some people don't talk about people publicly. Like, for example, did we know about Katt Williams' love life? He don't talk about nobody he dated. It's the people that come out and be like, I dated him. Oh, he was a good man, Savannah. I dated him. You understand what I'm saying? He don't talk about that stuff. So then why would you expect him to just be like, like every time he open his mouth, tell you everything going on. He's usually a quiet person. To know about him, you got to actually go to his shows, I guess, and like listen or whatever. But remember, after he did that interview, people wanted him. He might have did like 2, 3 other interviews, and they were completely different topics after that. And that was it. So the brother is saying that he's mad because he never mentioned Malik or what happened to him. As he knows it. But again, he wasn't hanging around Katt. So he don't know if this dude was crying to somebody else and talking about it to his people. Now, about him and his cousin playing house. That's what he said. Yo, if you look up the definition playing house, matter of fact, I'm gonna give you the definition because for some reason people are tending to believe that he's in the house with his cousin, and his cousin and Katt Williams must have a wig on, and he's like being his girlfriend. Where the hell did y'all get that from? He's never said that. He said the only words he used was playing house. Do you know what that is? Raising a goddamn family. Do you know what he was doing with those 8 kids? Raising kids. Do you know everybody around him was helping him raise the damn kids? That can be defined as playing house. But I'm gonna get to the exact definition of playing house. And it doesn't mean a man and a woman. What's the definition of playing house? So they're saying if a child is playing pretend, they're being an adult and carried out routine domestic tasks or activities. So what does playing house in slang mean? It said it could be used as a child's game of pretending to be a family. Here it does say in a romantic context. But that's not what it says all the time. It said it suggests a relationship. It can. That's when they use it as a slang term. This is AI. It's a form of role playing involving adult-like household duties and family routines. And then playing house also when you're like a grown person and you're like you know how you be dating somebody and you're like, we just been playing, like we're not getting married, we're just playing house. And that's like it's pretending like it's going somewhere and it never goes anywhere. But playing house, he never said that. So when they asked him, was Katt Williams bisexual? He said, I don't know if that man is bisexual. That's what I'm saying. Like if you listen to the interview, he contradicts himself a lot. But you just said he was in the house playing house. Like, is he bisexual or not? That means you would know if he was bisexual. Yes? If that's what he was doing. But again, he never said that. He said playing house. Now, playing house is open to how you perceive it. She said, Queen Liz said more like kids in forts and like grocery store games, etc. Like your mom plays the shopper and you play the checkout clerk. So, for example, I remember Katt Williams saying that he had a lot of females around him. This is hilarious because you know who else that reminds me of? And I'm going to be honest. He said that he doesn't even roll his own blunts. He has female rollers that's there. So that means that he probably has a house full of people. You know who has a house full of people that I've really heard of because my homegirl was at his house? Mayweather. And he surrounds himself with like a whole bunch of females. And my homegirl, because I think I don't know if it was his stylist or somebody, and I don't want to say like what they were, but they were working. It was a working manner, and it was her cousin. So I guess she was like, come with me real quick. I gotta go to his house and drop off something or deliver something. So they went to his house. You know, my homegirl act like she ain't been nowhere in the world. She gonna take out her phone. Oh, can I go to the bathroom? She in the bathroom trying to take pictures, like, and she trying to get a picture of him sitting there on the bed. Yo, she said this motherfucker is so lazy that he had females. One was I think doing his feet, one was massaging him. She's like, one was feeding him damn grapes. I was like, yo, it got to be hard to be his girlfriend. But I think he says that he's not going to be monogamous or something like that. But anyway, that reminded me of the dynamic that Katt Williams has when he date, and a lot of women concur and say that there is a lot of women around the house. And like he said, he likes the company of women. So he never got into detail about the cousin. He never really got into detail of the abuse. If you look up the definition of abuse, it could be a lot of things. And I didn't like his attitude when he was like that, when Katt Williams called, because he did say Katt Williams was homeless, because when he called home, he said, I had to pick up the phone. I had to be the man of the house. So for them trying to knock it down, I swear to God, watch the beginning of the interview. They tried to make it seem like Katt Williams was lying about being homeless, but then most of the interview revolved around Katt Williams being homeless. That's why I'm saying, like, the shit was just so contradictual, and they knew that it was contradicting, or maybe in the moment they weren't paying attention. But that's why there's a whole thing called replay, rewind, what he said, and writing it down. I stopped there because I was like, listen, I can't spend another minute of it. And to me, unless he's more direct, I don't have nothing else for it. Because I don't want to hear you talk. And I'm starting to think when people start using words like what I will say, they everything else is going to be bullshit. Queen Liz is like, again, if something really happened to him, why not say facts? You can be direct without getting overly graphic. That is true. If he's making accusations, then just stand on it. Exactly. That was my problem with it. And that's where the rolling of the eyes, and I'm telling you, I was really tired when I did it, and I just couldn't do it. Do I think physical abuse took place in that household? Absolutely. He did say, he was like, well, why don't you ask the women, like I said, the women that Katt Williams abused? Could that be possible? If he would have said that and got into detail, then I would believe it. But right now, I don't believe anything that comes out of his mouth. But could I see that? I'm gonna tell you why I could see that. Because he was a pimp. I mean, didn't he have a whole thing called Pimp Chronicles? I mean, I know they call women bitches. Hoes. Ho, get over here. He was a pimp. But what I'm saying is I can't take the brother seriously right now. So I just need somebody to come and actually really talk. And that's why I look at mannerisms and stuff like that. But his mannerisms could be correct. I think he can pass a lie detector test if he really wanted to, because it's all what he was saying is all up into interpretation. Plus, he was talking in third party a lot, not really pinpointing Katt Williams. He was like, well, let's just say if a person is in a manner of being in a messed up family, they would tend to. That was his lines. So a lot of times he jumped off of Katt to explaining a person that is wealthy or a person in a celebrity status would. That's what he said the whole entire interview, believe it or not. So to me, that lacks credibility. Talking in goddamn third party. Because then you're not saying you're not saying I saw. And he wouldn't say I saw one time. Speculation, because he's not around them. But somebody got to give him money because he's tweaking over there. And then he went to talk about Katt Williams talking about Beyonce. Oh, I'm going to say one more thing real quick. He was throwing out trigger words. So if you asked him, she was like, did he M you? And he was like, you know what he said? Wait. I think I got a quote. Because you're not going to catch me like that. Okay. She said, what did your brother do to you when you were 5? And he said, I'm not going to talk about it. I will leave it up to you to decide what he did to me. He's going to leave it up to the public to decide what he did to him. I'm just saying, does that sound right to you? You came on a platform to speak to people, but you're going to let them explain. You're going to let people that don't know you, don't know your situation, don't know your brother at all. But you're like, I'm going to leave it up to you to find out what happened. And she was like, and when the world say, oh, that's not right, he shouldn't do that. You know what he said? He was like, my response to that is, why is Diddy only getting 4 years? Why is Diddy? I asked you what your brother did to you, and you're going to say, why is Diddy only getting 4 years? I'll be honest. You know what that says to me? You're trying to trigger people. You're picking the most triggering people to make your point and not answer the question. Do you understand what I'm saying? So now I think you're playing games, and I think you think we're stupid. He brought him up a couple of times when she kept asking him, be specific. Because she was like, what do you think happened to the other kids? And she was like, they're fine. They're grown. So they're like, he said they're fine a couple of times, and they're adults and they have regular jobs and stuff like that. But then he tried to say that they were messed up. And then she was like, well, do you think that they got hurt like Malik? Now, like, again, we established that Malik had to be in a psychiatric hold. The other kids didn't. The other kids were home being raised, right? So when she asked what about the other kids, which he doesn't really like, he said they're fine. She was like, well, do you think that he did anything to them? And you know what his response was? Did Diddy ever stop? What do y'all think about this response? I'm just curious. He was throwing out trigger words. And it was working, because I've been seeing people in the comments, oh my God, he's just so truth. And I'm like, what the fuck did he say? What did he say? Because he's really not saying anything. He's throwing out stuff. And oh, that's like the fake psychologist. I mean, not psychologist, the fake ones, the fake people that read cards. Like, depending on your religion, I'm not saying everybody's fake. So the fake ones that just like leave stuff open to interpretation, and then your mind starts playing tricks on you, and you start grasping, and you start putting your own traumatic situations on stuff. And that's what I'm watching people literally do. They're making whole videos on stuff that he didn't say, but he left it open to your interpretation. And the people that are filled with trauma, which, I mean, a lot of people got trauma, but you got to watch him. You got to take out the emotion of your own trauma and like really just listen to what he says. So you asking me what happened, and you're like, well, what did Diddy do? So you understand, that would never fly in an interrogation room. That would never fly in court. They would be like, excuse me? No, answer the goddamn question. He would have to answer. She didn't hold him. She didn't hold him to it. She was trying to be nice. She was trying not to upset him. Maybe not upset. Yeah, she was trying to like keep the interview and pull whatever she needed. And he definitely was the worst interviewer ever. She said, if she was Tasha K, she said, I would have been like, okay, interview over. Why she don't pay people? Because she don't want to pay people, because they could always say, Yeah. She said Queen he said Queen Liz said she ain't incentivizing people. Exactly. She doesn't pay people for interviews because she doesn't want people to come back and be like, "Oh, she paid me to lie." So, I was, so it's like if he's sitting there, he's telling it because he wants to. And I think he wanted the fame because, by the way, y'all, he slipped in there that he was like there was some information going on, and he was like, "Oh, that information is too juicy. Y'all gonna have to come back because I'm about to write a book on that and make some money." I swear, go with looks. He want to do a book and everything, but then he talks about, "Oh, I don't want the fame. I don't want the celebrities," and he was like, "My father made him smart the way he does." She said him and Clayton needs to be friends. But yeah, that. But I thank y'all for hanging out with me. And like the only thing I do is like, trust me, I do have sympathy normally. And I do, but like if you're gonna dance around, I don't like people that try to play the audience like they're stupid or they're slow. And meanwhile, you sitting there with a big ass shirt on with a big ass cat on it, like we not paying attention to you. I really don't like it. And so I'm just sitting there because I'm looking at him because he's playing in everybody's face that's watching and shit, thinking he's doing something. This motherfucker, he had the nerve to sit there and be like, "Oh, this is gonna go," meaning this is gonna go viral. He thought he did something. I would drag that motherfucker, but it didn't. I don't think it's doing the numbers because it was a bullshit interview. He didn't come out and say it. Some people could see through it. Some people are just taking the accusations because it's triggering the people and people want to watch it and stuff like that. But come on, don't let everything just go through. Yes, there are real victims. Trust me. Like I said in the beginning of this video, people act differently. Yes, I'll give you that. I mean, I was traumatized one time. I can't even say that person's name. I don't. My other homegirl, she's traumatized, and she be like, "The name we do not speak of." And not to say that's everybody, but there's certain things that it looked like he was calling out for help because somebody's ignoring him. Katt Williams is ignoring him. That's what it looked like to me. And if I'm a Virgo, and if we don't talk to you, we don't talk to you. But anyway, guys, all I wanted to say, if anybody else has something to say real quick. Oh, to Marcus, thank you so much again for your congratulations on my subs. I appreciate you so much. I got like 5 seconds. Anybody? See, y'all be watching, but y'all don't be talking. No? Anybody even want to debate me while I'm here? Nothing? Look, I came with my shoes on. Y'all want to debate? Look. I'm just saying. No? All right. Well, I am going to get ready and go. But y'all, thank y'all again. And thank y'all for the subs. And Queen Liz, thank you. And thank you for keeping me company. Because, everybody else don't want to talk. I appreciate you. And thank you for subbing. I appreciate it. All right, y'all. This has been Amina, and I'm out. Thank y'all for rocking with me.